Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Soup Breakdown. Today we're going to be looking at the AMX-109 Kapool, piloted by Sochie Hines. The Kapool is, in my opinion, one of the worst 200s in this entire game. Its melee combos are terribly short-ranged, and most of its kit is just not that great. It has some cool moves that you can do, and there's some fun surprises with it, but it just doesn't have a lot of the options that I've come to expect out of suits in this game. Your basic shot is the chain gun, which does pretty solid damage and should honestly be your main damage dealer because of how quickly it recharges, how much you can use it, and how many options it gives you in the form of arcing shots and things like that. When you charge, you're able to fire a burst at it, plus your missiles. Missiles are tied to left trigger, or no, I'm sorry, they're tied to left bumper. Left trigger is the Gundam hammer that you saw there, which can be pretty effective and does pretty good damage. Not really something you should super rely on for your combat because it's kind of hard to hit with. But if you can hit with it, if you can get a dedicated setup going, then you will be able to do some good damage. Now, as you can see there, if you're trying to hit with it, you may want to first hit with something else to be able to set up the shot. Your striker is also the missile barrage, and then we'll use the missiles here. You cannot just fire two of the missiles, you have to fire them all when you fire them. Be aware of that. As you can see, it's super easy to do the charge shot combo there with your basic shot. Again, that's what I really recommend you doing, is using your basic shot, comboing that into your charge shot, and really able to get some damage in because of that. However, then we'll get into the other options that it has. Right trigger has what may be the most useless attack ever. It does not block beams like the Raiders does. It is just a melee counter. You can hit with it if you get it close enough, which is pretty nice. But it is extremely hard to hit with. It doesn't really do any damage to make up for how hard it is to hit with. I would expect it to do like 200 some odd damage. It does just as much as the basic hit with the hammer. So it's basically a terrible move for most use cases. Let me know in the comment section down below if you found a use for it, but I have not whatsoever. We'll get into the melee combos here. You have your basic melee, which is pretty good. I'll show you why it's not amazing in just a second. You have your side melee. You can see you might have already noticed the problem that the Kapool has. Forward melee is the only one you should really be doing, because forward melee is the only one that covers any actual ground. The others don't, and then back melee is just a block. The Kapool's biggest problem with melee is its range is so incredibly short. You have to be right up on top of them when you hit, otherwise it's no good. You do have a stun on your regular melee, which is nice, but you have to be right on top of them to do it, and it's just not really worth it in my opinion. You have your burst, which is pretty solid, but it is just not... The Kapool is just not well done here, I think. The other Kapool that we're going to cover next week is really good, but Sochie's Kapool is just not that good, in my opinion. It doesn't have enough damage for what it can do. The most damaging attacks it has are its chain guns. Look at how hard a time I'm having actually just taking down a 200 with this thing. I'm sure there are going to be some people that are really good with it, but it just does not have what it needs to have, in my opinion, to really be able to hack it, you know? So, of course, we asked the question, should you use the Kapool? Honestly, I think the answer to that is no. You should not use Sochie's Kapool. You should just use Korin's Kapool instead, which we'll get into next week. But, with all that said, I have been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that the Kapool has to offer.